Is there a proven method to approaching copywriting so that you can get it right every single time? Well, in a nutshell, yes there is, and I'm going to share it with you in this very video. Ready to get truly great at copywriting? Well, you're in the right place. So copy is simply persuasive text. Well-written copy can be used to persuade or even discreetly control us to carry out specific actions. It has a function and purpose, which is focused around achieving a very specific objective or result. So how can you create copy to convince people? It's an essential skill to learn in the modern business world. So let's start by first understanding what the discipline is fully first. What is copywriting? Copywriting is the process of composing purposely crafted marketing and advertising text in order to inspire individuals, that's us, to take some type of action. This action could be to make a purchase, click a link, contribute to a cause, or even just schedule a consultation. Copywriting can be found absolutely everywhere in the world of business, both in print and also on online environments. If you want some great examples of copywriting right now, look no further than your inbox. Unfortunately, we receive these promotional emails every single day and it does get a little bit annoying. So now we know what copywriting is, but why is it so important? Well, copywriting is important because it has some key benefits which are crucial in helping the business that we are managing or working within to help them connect better with their target audience more effectively. Copywriting has some key benefits which are crucial in helping businesses to grow by connecting with their target audience more effectively. They do this by staying on brand. Consistency is vital and it's essential to make sure that your copywriting aligns with your branding. If you're a massage therapist, for example, you don't want your copy to be loud, boastful, and full of energy. It should match your branding, which hopefully is relaxing and peaceful. If your branding is tranquil, welcoming, and calm, your copy should evoke similar emotions and feelings. Being consistent throughout all of your advertising materials and all of your branding is massively important, and having an understanding of how copy works and what your brand is all about will simply just make this process far less painful. Great copywriting will also help customers remember your brand and the name of your brand and the personality which comes with it. You'll be far easier to identify and your customers will actually look forward to hearing from you. Another reason why copywriting is so important is it helps you evoke emotion in your customers. Dull copywriting is simply that, dull. Anything boring, not engaging, or filled with grammatical errors is going to turn your customers off straight away, no matter how amazing the rest of your marketing is. Make sure your copy is stimulating and the core desires within your target audience are met. Make your first impression count. After all, you do only get one chance to make a great first impression. Evoking feeling does not mean writing endless paragraphs upon paragraphs of text either. All excellent copywriters can make sure their target audience know exactly what they're trying to say in literally a couple of sentences or less. There's absolutely nothing worse than being overwhelmed with a huge block of text when the exact same message could literally have been communicated in 2 sentences. The last reason that copywriting is so critically important is it helps you to understand how to speak in your customer's language. Having the ability to actually speak your target market's language is vital, in addition to having the ability to tap into their needs and core desires. So taking some time to fully understand your customers' needs and what actually motivates them is going to be essential in helping you craft copy which will be powerful enough to persuade them to take the action that you want them to take. And another fantastic benefit of copywriting is it boosts sales. When your copy is speaking your target audience's language and is on brand with the rest of your marketing materials and evoking the right emotions, this will naturally impact your sales. Having perfectly refined copy that elegantly communicates your benefits along with a persuasive call to action will get people to buy into whatever you're selling. The entire purpose of writing copy is to urge your target audience to take action. So unless you're just writing copy for fun, which if you are, I would seriously suggest you explore some different hobbies, always keep in mind that the text that you are writing is helping guide your reader towards an action that you actually want them to take. So what are the steps to creating incredible copy? Well, I thought you'd never ask. So is there a proven method to approaching copywriting so that you can get it right every single time? Well, in a nutshell, yes there is, and I'm going to share it with you in this very video. However, one thing to remember is it does not happen overnight. Like anything, it does take a little bit of practice and time, but if you follow the steps that we're about to cover, it will help you instantly understand what it takes to write truly persuasive copy. Getting someone's attention is always the first step, and there's one written element every single reader will first see when you publish anything: the headline. This is where you need to invest 70% of your time. But how can you truly write an amazing headline? The great David Ogilvy once said that on average 5 times more people will read your headline as they will read your body copy. And what that basically means is you are essentially spending 80 cents out of the dollar every time you write your headline. So what does that mean in simple terms? Get your bloody headline right. So how do you write a catchy headline? The first step is use numbers to give structure and concrete takeaways. There's a reason so many copywriters use numbers in their headlines. It simply bloody works. Do an experiment actually. Just go to a grocery store and just scan the magazine counter and just literally look at all the different front covers that are there in front of you. What you'll see is many of them will be using numbers to start off their headline. This isn't by chance, okay? These magazines and publications understand that to capture someone's attention, numbers are one of the key ways to do this effectively. So if your article has some clear takeaways, make sure you number them just to make them more digestible and easy to understand. And alternatively, if your article is not sort of takeaway focused and you can't really fit numbers into the headline and it just won't help with the structure, don't force it, okay? Just completely skip this step. The next step is to use emotional adjectives to describe the reader's problem. By using emotional adjectives, you're simply increasing the chances that your customers will be emotionally impacted by the headline and therefore more intrigued to learn more. Step 3 is be direct in regards to what you want the reader to get out of your content. If you're going to do a list post, be original. For example, consider the following. It's important that you are as accurate as possible within the headline, but keep it short and sweet. There's nothing worse than reading a headline only to read on and find out that the copy has absolutely nothing to do with what was promised above. Step 4 is use trigger words. By trigger words, I mean using words like why and how, because you're often trying to persuade or enable someone to do something that they can't currently do. You can also make your customer feel more involved and make it feel more personal to them by using words such as us and you, and this can just simply bring the reader closer and bring them in and make them feel like the text is about them. But just don't do it in a creepy way because that's never good. Step 5 is make a realistic but attractive promise. Promise your reader something valuable, something that they want. Take this video for example. I'm promising to teach you copywriting techniques which you can go out and use in your own business and life instantly. The secret is to not overpromise and underdeliver. Be bold, be seductive to an extent, and be dangerous, but above all, make sure that you deliver on the promise that you state in your headline. There's actually a headline building formula that I would absolutely love to share with you. So here's the headline formula that I use on a regular basis. Let's take an example subject, for example, like catching flies. You could write an article entitled How to Catch a Fly or Why I Love Catching Flies if you're into that sort of thing. Or you could apply this formula and make it 18 weird ways that you can catch flies, or another more serious example could be potentially taking a bold promise like selling your car in a day and applying the formula to get something like how you can effortlessly sell your car in less than 24 hours. It sounds almost too good to be true, but by just keeping things simple, you're actually going to help yourself out an incredible amount in regards to your headline just being more impactful overall. The next step is to understand your target audience's core desires. Listen, there's a fine line between success and failure, and to be honest with you, most of it is predicated on actually understanding what your target audience and customers truly want. Many adverts and websites fail to convert customers because they don't understand why their customers are actually buying their product. As customers, we initially begin to desire something or someone due to our emotional attachment to it or them. So by fully understanding your customer's core desires from the very beginning, you can quickly begin to connect with them on a far deeper level, therefore giving you an advantage over the vast majority of your competitors, which essentially means they're going to be buying from you as opposed to them, which means you win in business. Now, this approach has been around forever, but it's one of the most traditional and well-respected approaches to writing copy around in the industry. While some traditional marketers dismiss the AIDA formula, I personally feel that it's an ideal way of structuring content if you actually want your reader to take action. Let's take a look at the AIDA formula if you're not familiar with it in a little bit more detail. So the first step is attention. In our media-filled world, you need to be able to get someone's attention fast. Using powerful words or a picture can help you catch a reader's eye. This gives you the chance to persuade them to read what's next. Again, the headline is massively important. Most of us suffer from email overload on a daily basis with attention-seeking headlines that just make it almost annoying to open our inbox. But every now and again, one email will just catch our eye and we'll click on it only to find an offer which has been perfectly written to apply to us as a person, and then we probably buy the product. So making your reader feel important is a fantastic way to actually capture their attention. For example, to perhaps encourage people to attend a company training session, to give feedback, for example, the email headline, "How effective is your feedback?" is likely to grab their attention more than purely just saying something like, "Okay, we've done a seminar and please give me your feedback." It just isn't the same. What you write has to be compelling enough to stop the reader in their tracks and actually take action. Remember, it's far quicker and easier for your reader to simply pass you by than actually focus on your writing. People love things to be given to them in a quick and easy format, so cater to what they prefer. The next step of the ADA formula is interest. This is one of the most difficult phases in the ADA framework, and you have to have someone's attention first before you actually start to gain their interest. You have to engage with them in a way which motivates them to read on further and go deeper into your rabbit hole. Gaining the reader's interest is a little more challenging than simply just grabbing their attention. They will give you a little bit more time to do it, but you must stay focused on their needs. This means helping him or her pick out what they actually want from you, and then use bullet points and subheadings and even break up the text into little standout points to make it clear that you can provide a solution to their needs. Keep the momentum going in your opening and deliver on the promise which you've made in the headline. The next step is desire. The interest and desire parts of the ADA formula go hand in hand, as you're essentially building the reader's interest, and you also need to help him or her understand now what you're offering and how it can help them. The main way of doing this is by appealing to their personal needs and wants. Rather than simply just saying, "What can we do for you?" focus on communicating how it will help them. So if you're selling a home delivery service, for example, you're not actually selling the service itself, but you're actually selling the time saved and the convenience that the service brings. In copywriting, creating desire all depends on the goal or the objective of the content. You have to tell a story that causes something to stir within the reader or the viewer to make them take the action that you want them to take. On that note as well, if you haven't already subscribed to the branded YouTube channel, what on earth are you doing? All right, press like, comment, let us know that you're here. And also we've got some incredible content coming up in regards to finance, entrepreneurship and branding in the next couple of months, which you can enjoy for free because we're nice. But anyway, let's continue with the video and on to our last point, action. Creating a desire for action is never enough. You've got to be as direct and as clear as possible when asking your reader to carry out an action or a task for you. So remember, using the ADA formula will help you to write more captivating copy, which is going to impact your target audience emotionally. So to summarize, first, it must capture your target audience's attention and engage their interest. Then it must build a desire for your product offering before setting out exactly what actions you want your reader to take. The next step is use familiar words. When you're trying to write effective copy, keep things simple and don't try to be too smart. Otherwise, you'll have your reader reaching for the nearest dictionary. Do they even use dictionaries now? People don't use dictionaries, right?
Not really.
Okay, fuck it. They'll go to Google. It's important you tone down your language to help the reader understand things easily. Great copy cuts like a hot knife through butter. Avoid big words that make you sound like you're trying to be too smart or intellectual. Just be you. Which leads us to our next important point, writing in your own natural style. This is an indispensable tip for all writers, but it does take practice to get it right. Yes, you need to speak the language of your target audience, but you need to do it in a way which feels natural to you. Don't be afraid to put your own spin on the way that you're writing and communicating with your target audience. Writing can be, for the most part, incredibly dull if it's not done properly, so inject it with a little bit of your personality to stand out from every other piece of content online. The next step is to gain momentum and ignite a flow. Just like this. You have to start with a flow. Can you see how the words gather speed? They get longer and longer as you read each sentence. It gets longer. But you're on a journey now. You find it hard to stop. You started reading just 3 words, and now look at you. No, but on a serious note, did you see what I did there? Starting off with short, sharp sentences makes it easy for the reader to begin reading your written passage. So make sure you structure copy with this in mind. Start short and gain momentum and length as your sentences develop. Before you know it, the reader will have finished the entire passage of text. Without this approach, it's going to make it less likely someone will actually start reading your text, never mind read it enough to be interested or persuaded with what you're trying to get them to do. The next step is always finish strong. The trick is to have the reader hang on your every word, to make sure that they are fully engaged and captivated enough to read everything you say. This is how you can persuade a reader to continue reading until the very end of the passage, by leaving something out and leaving their curiosity unsatisfied. So how do you satisfy a reader's curiosity? The last sentence is always key. It has to light up inside something to inspire you to read on. Always finish a section or passage with either a question or a hanger, meaning leaving the customer or the reader hanging on. And the last step is refinement and emotion. The first draft of any written material is going to be pants. The first draft is always just you getting things out on paper or on screen. The truth is, the second draft is where the magic truly happens. This is where you take your original work and simply craft it into something more purposeful and refined. You can use the words that you currently have as a framework to create truly incredible and meaningful written material. Now, there is a process and a flow that the text should follow to maximize emotional impact and inspire action. The one thing that you always have to keep in mind is that the first draft is never the last draft. So the first draft is simply you just getting all of your ideas out on paper and getting some rough structure to what you want to say. Once you have everything down on paper and you can actually see it, then you can start to edit things and really start to refine the overall text to get the feel and the amount of persuasion that you want to achieve. Hey guys, I am so happy that you've made it this far through the video. I hope you enjoyed it. We are trying to do more content like this, really trying to empower small and medium-sized businesses and entrepreneurs to get the most out of their branding and communications. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a like and a comment on this video, let us know what you found the most valuable, just so we can make more content on it in the future. That would be absolutely fantastic. Also, feel free to subscribe. We've got absolutely tons of new content coming up in the near future. And on that note, I will see you in the next video.